Cody. So I wanted to put up a quick review of Halloween Kills. Um, saw it once in the theater. Not streaming it or anything like that. Didn't want to get Peacock just for that. I thought if I'm not going to watch it in the theater, then I'm just going to wait for the physical media release, which I understand is going to be in December, so it's going to be a quick turnaround for us. But spoilers ahead. If you haven't watched the movie yet, um, turn this off, look away, maybe come back later, to see what my thoughts of it were. John has a video up, Dave has a video up. We talked about it on the stream the other night. But anyway, so I went and saw it with my son. And right off the bat, I will say I enjoyed the movie. It did have a couple, three issues for me. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was good to go see a Halloween movie again. I guess it's been 3 years since we got to go see one, and that felt like a big deal at the time. To get to go see 2018 was a lot of fun. Actually double featured that night with some friends, and we watched the 1978 in 4K, and then went to the movie theater right after and watched 2018. So that was fun. This picks up basically right where the last one left off. But I think I'm having trouble remembering the order now. I think maybe we did the flashback scene first. But basically, if you've watched the trailer, and I know Dave tried to avoid the trailers, I went ahead and watched the trailers. I don't mind seeing some things in a trailer. But he gets out. He gets out of the house because firefighter crews showed up to stop the fire. And if you remember, in the basement, Lori had the rifles behind like a pull-down metal like garage door, roll-up door, and firefighter falls through the floor into the basement. You see that roll-up door come up. That's how Michael, I guess, stayed away from the fire for a little bit. Comes out, takes the fireman's hate to say axe. I don't know what they call that thing. It's kind of a big pry bar with a couple different attachments on it. Kills him, bashes him in the face. Another firefighter reaches down to pull his friend up, but instead gets Michael's hand. So that's how Michael gets out, comes out, kills the entire fire department. And then he's heading back into Haddonfield. And Lori is at the hospital. They bring in Officer Hawkins, who got stabbed in the neck by Dr. was it Sartain in the first one. He's still alive. And we introduce a bunch of characters. We bring back a bunch of characters they bring back Tommy Doyle's there, Lindsay Wallace, the nurse that was riding with Donald Pleasance in the original. I forget her character's name. But anyway, she's returned. From the original, I mean. We also see there was a couple dressed up as a doctor and a nurse getting in their car in 2018. They are back. This takes place at the same night. They're out at the bar. Who else? The Jamie Lee Curtis's granddaughter's boyfriend is back. His dad, Lonnie, who is the one who was dared to go in the house in the original that Dr. Loomis scared off. So we're getting this, flood of, I guess, nostalgic characters. Everybody who really ever crossed paths with Michael is back. And we go into, Lori's in the hospital. They're doing surgery on her because she'd been stabbed. She's in recovery. She thinks it's over. They learn that Michael's out. And then we watch Michael rampage for a while. Michael first kills an older couple, which was a pretty brutal scene. And he's working his way back home, is what we find. He's headed for the Myers house, which is occupied now by another couple. And I'm not going to bore you too much with a play-by-play. I kind of figure if you're here, you already saw the movie. Um, but then we spend the rest of the movie switching back and forth between either watching Michael brutally kill people, um, or a lynch mob scream that evil must die tonight. That goes on a lot, and I know we commented on it on the stream. I If I heard evil dies tonight one more time, I think I was going to puke. Tommy Doyle got that going. That was his main purpose in the movie. I think was to run around and scream evil must die tonight. Um, it just kept on, and he Tommy, his character, I didn't really care for his character, what they turned it into. I much preferred Paul Rudd's Tommy Doyle, who had been, in part six, was, researching Michael for years and wanting to know how to fight him and, whatever. Tommy has just, to me, this rendition of Tommy Doyle just has a chip on his shoulder, like he really went through something. And I'm not saying that not seeing a murderer like that at his age, in the original, wouldn't traumatize somebody. But our first introduction to him is he gets up in a bar and he tells the story of how he was brutally attacked. And I just thought that takes a lot of audacity, because it was Laurie who was brutally attacked while Tommy hid in a bedroom. And I thought that it just seemed like his character was taking a lot of credit for things he didn't do. So a little annoyed in that sense. And they're all out for the night drinking and talking about it, and then they find out the murders are going on again. And he basically runs around, you know, ramping people up to go out and find Michael. Let's find Michael. Let's kill him. Evil must die tonight. We find out there's another inmate still loose from the bus crash, and we're tricked once, I think, thinking that it's Michael maybe in a car. Turns out it's this other inmate that stole the car, crashed, gashed his head, shows up at the hospital later looking for help, and the lynch mob takes off after him. And I think this was my biggest like issue in the flow of the movie. We go through a huge scene where the lynch mob chases this guy through the hospital, and I mean, he's not built like Michael. He doesn't look like Michael. They showed Michael's picture from the sanitarium on the news earlier in the evening, both of them, so I think they'd know the difference between the two. Um, but, they had a mob mentality. Let's get him, let's get him. And they chase him, but the dude is small. He's built like Danny DeVito. He's limping, he's hurt, he's slow. And 150 people running through a hospital can't keep up with him. And the thing bothered me the most, again, it was so ridiculous, so over the top. Everybody is in such a frenzy to get him that they get stuck in the stairwell. There's this just pile of people starting at the stairwell, as he's running up the stairs to get away from them. It was like a Three Stooges scene, where they all three try to go through the door at the same time. It was just utterly stupid. And somehow, Laurie's daughter, forget her name again, she gets through and far enough ahead of the crowd, and no one can seem to get out of that people pile in the stairwell, that she has enough time to get this guy and secure him in a locked area so the mob can't get him. And then the mob shows up and scares the guy enough that he dives out the window to get away from him. And it's not until he hits the pavement that they decide, well, that wasn't him. Now we feel awful. We killed an innocent man. And really, to me, this whole scene was just too much, and so poorly done. Because there's been plenty of movies where they play on the mob mentality. They point out the mob mentality, how stupid it is, how people are basically, lemmings in that respect. but it's been done better, and it's been done in a lot of other movies. And I just thought it was out of place and stupid here. And I know one comment Phil made was, this movie could have been 25 minutes shorter. And then that brings me to my second complaint about the movie, and probably my biggest one. And it's not even limited to this movie. I fear it's going to carry over into the next movie. But I said this movie made me kind of think that this trilogy of movies, Halloween movies, is going to end up like The Matrix, where the first movie is awesome, and then the second and third movies really should have been one movie, but they put in enough filler and crap to turn it into a trilogy. People are hooked on having trilogies. There's some great trilogies. Star Wars, Back to the Future, Lord of the Rings. Not everything has to be a trilogy to be good, and anymore they act like it needs to be. That and probably 50% more ticket sales than just having two movies. But yeah, it just felt like there was a lot of fluff and a lot of filler in here. Now, the things I liked about the movie, seeing Michael. You saw a lot more Michael in this movie than other movies. You got to see Michael do some great kills. He was ruthless. He was brutal. He was not the stalking, creeping Michael. He was a bulldozer in this. Whatever got in his way, he was taken out. And I like seeing that. James Jude Courtney's performance was just killer, if you'll pardon the pun. Fantastic job playing Michael. And again, the lighting, love the lighting. The fact that you never really see his eyes, that's always big for me in a Halloween movie. That's why I hated H2O and Resurrection. You saw his eyes. I don't think that's right. So that was fantastic. And then probably the best thing for me was the flashback scenes. Seeing the original mask again, that look, the way Michael moved when he was younger was a lot like Nick Castle. Looked great. Going back into a nicely recreated set of the Myers house was cool. It looked very accurate. But then I think seeing Dr. Loomis was probably my favorite part. I know there's a scene there at the beginning where in the flashback scene Hawkins is arguing with 3 or 4 more other cops, and from down the street you can hear Loomis hollering, I shot him, I'm telling you, I shot him. That just made me smile. I just suddenly, felt a big grin come on my face. Hey, there's Dr. Loomis. Donald Pleasence was always one of my favorite parts of the Halloween franchise. And, hearing a scene where they got, I know it's an impression, but the character there again. And then the guy that they got to play him, I thought looked a lot like him. And the voice was pretty good too. So that was cool. So that was the best part to me. Seeing a lot more Michael, the flashbacks, and it was just fun. It was a fun slasher movie. I'll say that. Just it had a lot of fluff in it, and I expect a lot of fluff in the beginning of the next movie, and then we'll get into the good part. And I think in the future, when I have this on disc, this is going to be, like I said, much like The Matrix 2 and 3. There's going to be a lot of chapter skipping to get to the good parts. I think that's how we're going to end up watching Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends in the future on home video. So that's my quick thoughts. Let me know what you think below. Like it, hate it. Middle of the road, kind of like me. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and I might even go again. If I have time next weekend, it's like $4 at my theater to go see a matinee. I might go see it again. So yeah, comment below. Let me know what you think, and that's it. So Everybody stay safe, take care of each other. Try to go out and see this movie, stream it, something. It's definitely worth watching. Check it out. Great installment in the series, just had issues, in my opinion. So just wanted to put it out there. So that's it. So yeah, stay safe, take care of each other. Come back and see me. Thanks.